Hello, sociology students. This is Mrs. Politsky, and I have your notes for Chapter 7, Section 3 Symbolic Interactionism and Deviance. All right, so anytime we talk about symbolic interaction, we're always talking about symbols, and that's really the key here. So there's a differential association theory that is associated with symbolic interaction that emphasizes the role of primary groups in transmitting deviance. And it basically, there are three characteristics that affect this. Uh, First, the ratio of deviant to non deviant individuals that a person knows. So, if I know more people who are what would be probably labeled as deviant by the social norms that are out there, there's a better chance that if there's more deviant than non deviant, I'm probably going to be more deviant just by that association. Whether, number two, whether the deviant behavior is practiced by a significant other. So if a parent or a good friend is practicing these acts, there's a better chance that I am going to be involved in that as well. Always kind of think about this in terms of like the movie like The Godfather. So you have the Godfather who's kind of like this mafia guy, and his son, who for the most part has been kind of raised maybe away from some of that, eventually becomes tied in with the mafia. In a sense, that kind of shows the power of that significant other as far as the deviant act. And then finally, the last one, the age of exposure. The younger you are when you are noticing these acts of deviance, the higher the probability that you will be committing these acts as well. So if a person isn't exposed to deviant behaviors until they're much, much older, probably that lessens the impact of that. So there's also the labeling theory, which is probably tied in more with the images that you see below, but this explains deviance is relative, meaning it's a question of who is breaking the norm. So deviant behaviors are always a matter of a social definition. Deviance is not necessarily a quality of the act. The person or that the person commits, but rather the consequence, the application of the rules and sanctions of the offenders. So if you're associating with people who might see piercings or shaved heads with mohawks, or facial tattoos as something that is okay, then you're not necessarily going to see that as a bad thing. Maybe if you're involved with people who are not necessarily of that mindset, then yeah, you might see this as a deviant act. All right. Thank you very much.